Here are some of the highlights from the Heritage New York International Show Signature and Platinum auctions. We'll start off with an absolutely entrancing example of a gold fine sovereign of 30 shillings from the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, minted approximately 1585 at the London's Tower Mint. It stands as a testament to the literal golden age that the first Elizabethan era came to represent. Graded by NGC as AU58 when its turn on the auction block arrived, it was sold for $69,000. In 1622, a treasure fleet of 28 ships, mostly Spanish galleons, departed the New World from Cuba. Laden with silver, gold, and other treasures, they set sail to Spain. But shortly thereafter, the fleet got caught in a hurricane, causing at least 6 ships to sink. This gold finger bar was recovered from the lesser-known wreck of the Santa Margarita. It is massive, with a weight of 963 grams, and was only recovered in 1980. It was sold at auction for the sum of $84,000. The zodiacal coins of the Emperor Jahangir, who reigned over the Mogul Empire, which is basically most of modern-day India, and who was reportedly a devotee of astrology, and instituted a series of coins that each featured the astrological sign of the respective month in which these gold mohur coins were minted. For example, this Aries mohur features a ram, and was minted in the month of Farwadin in the year 1030 on the Persian calendar, which is approximately 1620 to 1621 on the Gregorian calendar. This exquisite example was graded by NGC as MS62 and sold at auction for $144,000. Yet another example of this innovative and fascinating coinage issue was the Scorpio mohur from the same year of issue. This coin actually follows the Ilahi calendar, aligned with the solar year and the agricultural cycles, dividing time into 12 months with Persian names, a system implemented by his father, Emperor Akbar the Great, and replaced the traditional Islamic lunar calendar. This Scorpio coin was graded by NGC as AU55 and sold for $96,000. Few coins, whether in the Russian catalogue or in the broader numismatic sense, can match this Nicholas I platinum 6 rubles coin from 1845. In terms of pure rarity, it is one of those mythical coins that is so rare that most people likely don't even know that it exists, with a reported mintage of only 2 coins, though likely more were actually struck in reality. The example here was graded by NGC as proof 64 and was sold at auction for $168,000. Napoleon III may not enjoy the grandiose reputation of his famous uncle. In fact, the author Victor Hugo, best remembered today for penning the French epic Les Miserables, disparagingly portrayed him as Napoleon le Petit, or Napoleon the Small, as opposed to his uncle, Napoleon Bonaparte the Great. But his coins, especially the 100-franc essay pieces, are held in the highest esteem and are tremendously collectible today. Here we have an example from 1862, graded by PCGS as proof 65 cameo that fell under the auctioneer's gavel for $204,000. A veritable titan from the Brazilian colonial series is on display now, a 6,400 race or Pesa coin from the reign of John V of Portugal, minted at the Bahia Mint in 1730. There are only 3 examples of this issue known to have survived today, making it a can't-miss opportunity for the collector of Brazilian coins, graded by PCGS as uncirculated detail sales, this coin changed hands for no less than $228,000. The Victorian-era British pattern coins are a breed unto themselves. The Bonomi crown, named after its designer, Joseph Bonomi the Younger, is a prime example of this kind of artistic exploration, featuring an incuse design that depicts Victoria in the style of an ancient Egyptian queen, reminiscent of that of Cleopatra or Nefertiti. The example here was graded and authenticated by PCGS as proof 66, and when the auctioneer's gavel fell, a price of $288,000 had been reached. The 1826 George IV proof £5 is the only really collectible date for the denomination from the reign of George IV, which is not to say that it is not a rare coin in and of itself, as only 150 were originally minted. The obverse portrait of George IV was engraved by William Wyon, modelled after a marble bust of the king sculpted by Francis Chantry, with both artists bringing their considerable skill to bear. PCGS assigned this stunning coin with a grade of proof 65 deep cameo, and when it passed over the auction block, it was sold for the sum of $300,000. One of the most coveted and legendary coins in the British catalogue is the much vaunted 1839 quintuple sovereign, known better as the Una and the Lion, after its celebrated reverse design where the fledgling Queen Victoria is depicted in a masterful fashion as the fictional Una from Edmund Spenser's epic poem The Fairy Queen. This example, graded by NGC as proof 62 plus Ultra Cameo, was sold at auction's close for $336,000. To say it mildly, James II was a divisive figure within English history, best remembered today for being deposed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688 and 1689, meaning that this gold 5 guinea coin was actually minted in the last year of his legitimate rule. A stunning example of this type, this 1688 coin was graded by NGC as MS64 proof-like and at auction was sold for $336,000. But apart from all of those rarities, the highlight of the auction is this legendary South African single £9, or a pond as is more accurate. This coin exists only as a direct result of the Anglo-Boer War fought between the South African Boer Republic and Great Britain from 1899 to 1902. Despite being dated as 1898, the coin was actually minted in 1899. You see, the prepared dies bearing the correct date of 1899 was confiscated by the British military near the beginning of the war. So the plan was then to mint the coins with the older dies from the previous year, but then simply to overstamp a 99 on the obverse. But when this coin, the very first one, was struck, it became clear that the chosen 9 punch was simply too large, both touching the dentals and cutting into the bust of the president. A smaller 9 punch was then selected, and the rest of the coins were then counterstamped as 99 to indicate the proper year of minting of 1899, leaving this coin as the sole single 9 1898 pont ever created. This coin has a storied history and is today graded by NGC as MS63 proof-like. By auction's close, it had sold for the amount of $2,160,000. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch a video about the previous year's New York show right here. Next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.